Hello friends, and welcome to Escaping the Mouse with your host, me, Breck Rowell. Alright, it's Sunday, it's the first day of my long weekend. It's kind of a rainy day out today, and I don't really have a specific single topic that I want to talk about for today's video. Instead, I got a couple of little things that I want to do like sub-vlogs on. So we're going to tie several things together. First thing is this. Something really exciting happened this week at work. Something that I have been waiting for almost a year now, and it finally happened this week. I'm really excited about this. As you know, we've been having this coronavirus thing that's been affecting all of our lives for the last year. And as you know, about 2 months ago, I got vaccinated for it. And 2 weeks after that, when the vaccine went hit full strength in my body, I went maskless in the outside world. I didn't go to the grocery store with masks. I didn't go to Home Depot. I didn't go anywhere with masks. But the only place I was required to go with a mask was work, because hey, they're paying the bills, so they still get to say as to what happens. But this week, they finally decided to ease up on the restrictions a little bit. About 2 weeks ago, the CDC, that's the Center for Disease Control in the United States, declared that if you've been vaccinated, you no longer need to wear a mask or social distance anywhere, not inside, not outside, anywhere. And so I've been really hoping that the company was going to follow the science and drop the mask mandate. Well, on Thursday, an email went out saying that from the corporate headquarters, saying that because the CDC has said that masks are no longer needed, that they were going to lift the mask mandate. Now, the manager, the guy in charge at my particular plant, hesitated a little bit and said, we want to look into this. We're going to move in that direction, but we want to look into it and figure out how we can phase out the masks. Well, it turns out the next day he sent out an email and basically said, that's it. If you've been vaccinated, you no longer need to wear a mask. So I am now 100% mask free. Woohoo! Now, people celebrate things in a lot of different ways, and sometimes when people have a mortgage that they've finally paid off, they celebrate the paying off the mortgage by having a mortgage burning party. Sometimes people just burn things that they hate in effigy. We're going to do kind of a combination of that. Today I'm going to burn my masks. All right, good riddance face masks. My tie-dye face mask. My regular surgical face mask. My pastel face mask. And this other kind of psychedelic one. No more face masks for me. It's funny, it's kind of scary, they're melting, which kind of tells me they aren't even fabric. It looks like they're more nylon or something like that. Makes you wonder how good of a job they're actually doing protecting you. No more masks for me. End of an era. Now, you may recall back in February, our friend Bill Cranier sent me a recipe for a homemade fresh salsa, and I made it. It was episode 539 if you want to go back and check it out. I'm not actually going to prepare that today because we did that before. But when I first got that recipe, I was really excited when I saw the results of it, because I've tried making salsa in the past before and just not had very good results. But this turned out really, really good. It wasn't perfect, but it was a good starting point. You see, when I make recipes, especially when it's something I've never prepared for before, what I tend to do is stay very faithful to the recipe the first time, so that I can kind of see what the base recipe is and then kind of fiddle with it a little bit in the future once I know what the basic recipe is. And like I said, I was very, very excited with the results. It was a good salsa. It was probably something that you'd see at a Mexican restaurant that served a bunch of white people, but I wanted to knock it up a few notches. You know me, I like it when my food bites me back. So I've prepared that salsa now about 4 times. That's how popular it's become with me. And what I do is I make a large quantity of it and freeze it, and then I have it in chips, I have it on omelets, I have it on breakfast burritos. It's a really kind of good salsa, but each time I've been trying to goose it up a little bit and give it a little bit more bite. And I think I've finally settled on a recipe that works really well for me. So if you're interested in the basic recipe, like I said, it's episode 539 back in February. The recipe is printed out in the description of that video, but here's how I've modified it. Alright, so here are the updated ingredients. Basically, the original recipe called for 10 Roma tomatoes, and I've stuck with that. 1 to 2 red onions, and I'm fine with 1 red onion. A couple of cans of the El Pato hot tomato sauce. You may recall when I did the recipe the first time, I couldn't find the El Pato brand hot sauce, so I just bought regular tomato sauce and goosed it up a little bit with Tabasco sauce, and I got pretty good results. But I found this stuff at Walmart now, and that's where I'm getting that. A little bit of garlic, and this is where I really altered the recipe. The recipe said 2 to 3 jalapeno peppers and 2 or more serrano peppers. And that was where I thought, this thing needs a little bit more fire to it. So what I've done is I've tripled the jalapeno peppers. I'm putting 6 jalapeno peppers, and I've swapped out the serrano peppers for habanero peppers. One of the things that I did when I made it the first time is I kind of made the mistake of when I was dicing up the chilies that I pulled the seeds out, and it turns out the seeds are the best part. So in subsequent times I've made this recipe, I've left the seeds in there, and that helps a lot. I've also been kind of goosing it up a little bit with this new variant of Tabasco sauce. This is Tabasco's new version called Scorpion sauce. This stuff is radioactive hot, and so in addition to all of the rest of this, I've been adding 2 or 3 tablespoons of this into the mix, and that gives it a really, really good burn. So, like I said, if you don't really like really spicy things, stick with the original version. I would call that a mild to slightly, medium hot sauce or salsa, but this kicks it up several notches. When you mix this all together, I would call this a medium hot to hot salsa. So just to kind of catch up, this is what I've been doing. This is what I do in my life is I try something, figure out what works, and then see how I can improve it. So that's how I improved Bill's salsa, and this is a regular at my house now. And if you like a little bit more burn in your salsa, that's the way I'm doing it. So I just got off the phone with my mom. For those of you who weren't on the live stream last Sunday, my mom ended up in the emergency room a couple days ago. Here's what really happened. Apparently she's been having kind of shortness of breath for the last few days, and my sister kind of got a little concerned and decided that they ought to go to the emergency room and see what was going on. My mom went in on Friday morning, I think, and the doctors decided almost immediately, they ran some tests and they decided they wanted to admit her overnight so they could run a stress test on her. Now, she did that. Apparently, they didn't really find anything. Normally, a stress test would be them putting my mom on a treadmill. But since my mom is in a walker, that's not really an option for her. So instead, they injected her with something that basically is supposed to pep her up as some sort of a stimulant. And before they did that, they took basically an MRI image of her heart. And then afterwards, they took another one just to kind of compare and see if anything was different. They didn't find anything. So, like I said, they're just kind of writing it off as stress. She's had kind of a strange year. She's, lost her husband. She's moved twice. She's sold a bunch of cars. She's, it's just been a kind of a crazy year for her. So I think she's kind of taking this as a wake-up call that she just needs to relax and kind of calm down a little bit. I know she kind of feels a little bit of guilt for the fact that she couldn't be there and help my father the way he was there to help her. You got to remember, a few years before my father passed away, my mom had her knee replaced, and there were all sorts of complications with that. She broke her leg at one point, and it was that same leg that she had the knee replaced. And basically she's been in a wheelchair, or at least very limited mobility with the walker. And in the entire time that was going on, my father basically took over and did everything for her. And she feels a little guilty that she couldn't do the same thing for him when he needed her. And I think that's all kind of factor. And then all the crazy things have gone on the past year or so. And, you know, the pandemic and all that fun stuff. So I think she's going to be fine. I don't think it's anything more serious. She's just going to relax a little bit. But if you wanted to keep her in your thoughts and prayers, that'd be really good. I'm going to try and have her on a live stream again real soon, just so you can kind of hear it from her side. But I think she's okay, but I wanted to share that little bit with you. Now, if you were on the live stream today, you may recall that my friend Beth showed up and was there in the audience for a short period of time. And we talked to her a little bit about Flash, and I said how much you guys enjoy seeing videos of Flash, and if she wanted to send some more over, that'd be great. Well, when I got off the live stream and looked on my email, she had shot another video of Flash. And so here that is. This was kind of a fun one because Flash was eating like she usually is doing. And it's clear that Beth was taking good care of her. She had all sorts of good stuff out for Flash, and Flash was discovering that she really loves the flowers that Beth was feeding her. I kind of knew that was an issue. I had some plumeria growing in my yard in California, and every once in a while the plumeria would drop their flowers, and Flash loved to eat the plumeria flowers. So here's some video from Beth of Flash enjoying basically a tortoise salad.
Do you Flash? Okay, I was gonna say, Flash, did you want that on your foot?
Thank you, Beth. Keep them coming. All right, so I hope you enjoyed that. I think that's all that I have for today. Thank you as always for watching, and I'll see you next time on Escaping the Mouse. Good night.